the health nurse they sent,
They
they
sent a
emailed
written
us.
report, could not be here, so.
Take that under advisement, I guess. Then we'll move on to extension with Jody. Good morning, Jody.
Well, the state fair ended on Monday. It was marked my 20th state fair as the 4-H advisor. So it's great to work with our youth in our county and across the state because I see kids every year at our contest. So it's kind of fun to see them each year and see how they've grown in their projects. Results can be found from state fair as unofficial right now. So we're just kind of looking for little errors and stuff right now on the SDSU extension website, and that's extension.sdstate.edu. So all the results from every contest are on there right now. Our exhibits are ready to be picked up. We've got them unboxed and ready to go. Saturday, September 10th is 4-H day at the Jackrabbit Stadium, so football game. So 4-Hers can get tickets at our discounted rate. So everyone's supposed to wear their green at the SDSU game this Saturday. It's at 6 o'clock in Brookings. October 1st is our 4-H regional teen dash again, and registration will be open. And then National 4-H week is October 2nd through the 8th, where youth can enroll in 4-H. So we're a new year. So we're ending our current year right now with record books and all that stuff and award applications, and with our recognition event on October 23rd. So that'll end our current year, and then we'll start a whole new year over again. So I already have people saw last night, they're like, I'm signing my kid up for Clover Buds. So what do I need to know? So just all that stuff. So
That information is on the website as well, probably.
I think, yeah, yep. And we'll be updating those forms before October 1st.
Jody, is
So
that the regional teen? Or
teen, T-E-E-N,
Yeah,
teen,
okay, teen
teen
dash,
dash,
okay.
yep, teen
All right.
dash, yep.
Just one question, Jody. When I was looking at the exhibits up there, I see the Clover Buds all have, do they all get a yellow ribbon?
I didn't even we don't bring our Clover Bud. I didn't know there was an option to bring our Clover Buds there. So I don't know if that county brought them from their county, so I'm not sure.
I just saw some Clover Buds.
Yeah, because usually
And I'm
Clover
sure you
Buds
did too.
are not about competition. They're more about cooperation. So we don't bring those kinds of things for competition. So that was new to me.
Locally, we give Clover Bud ribbons.
Yeah, yep, we do.
On the local level.
The local level, we do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I just, and I was gonna ask you while I was up there.
yeah, that's the
you're
first time I
busy
saw
and-
them at the state level,
other
so I
stuff
never
is over.
usually bring them there.
There's
so.
a lot of neat displays and a lot of time and effort that goes into those. It's
Lots
fun
of
walking
mom-
around
Lots of
looking at 'em.
hours for mom and dad.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
It is a, and I was talking to Troy about this a little bit. 4-H really is a good diversion program with parent involvement to help keep kids out of, part of it, you know, overall, keep kids out of the building, out of the jail, out of trouble, out of this, on the right path.
Right, 4-H is a family affair, so everyone's involved, so,
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
the good
It's
thing. You
parents,
see all the-
grandparents, uncles,
Yep.
aunts.
yep, everybody,
It's truly family oriented.
yep, yeah.
All
Thanks
right.
for your work on that.
Any
Yeah.
questions for Jody? Don?
All right.
Thank you, and thanks for all you do.
Thank you, Jody.
All right, we'll move on then to the Veteran Service Officer. Good morning, Todd,
Good morning.
and you have someone to introduce to us?
I do. I'd like to introduce our new County Deputy Veteran Service Officer, Jay Roberts. Will be starting to be a familiar face around the office here, working 1 to 2 days a week until his full-time start date of 1 January of 23. He has most of the requirements completed to access and start processing claims. He's just finishing up an email this morning, I know from that standpoint. We will be hitting the ground running in January. Right now, this week, I haven't even processed a claim yet this week, shame on me, but too many walk-ins and whatnot, and I've probably picked up 4 or 5 claims, so it'll be a welcome addition from that standpoint. So Peg's current last date is going to be 31 October 22.
I did hear them mentioning on the radio some information that you wanted passed on about health insurance from the servicemen from 911 being eligible, that they've extended the limit or time frame?
There's some different things depending on when, if they processed out for a certain date. Anybody that had served overseas, 9/11, post 9/11, Gulf War era, there are some additional longer term. I think it goes out 10 years. If we have veterans that are out there listening on that, again, contact my office. I have that here a little bit farther down and talk about the Honor the Pact Act that was passed, but
Gotcha. Sorry.
no,
Jumped
no,
in too soon.
no. 2 DAV transports, 2 scheduled for September. And DAV Explorer, we're still working with the South Dakota Department of DAV headquarters to find the final solution for that. So it's still sitting in the parking lot right there from that. And I'll keep you updated on that saga there with the DAV vehicles. Bridge dedication for Sergeant James Hayter was conducted in August. Probably 120 people attended that. It was a great event. Applications for next year are due 1 April of next year. I usually help them put it together, but they can submit the packet themselves. So if anybody needs any assistance on that, we're available to assist. The Honor the Pact Act went into became effective 10 August, and this Pact Act is a new law that expands VA healthcare and benefits for veterans exposed to burn pits and other toxic substances. It expands presumptive and additional locations for Gulf War, post 9/11, and Vietnam veterans. This bill is projected to create over 3 to 4 million additional benefit claims, not to mention the increased accessibility to the VA healthcare. My personal thoughts just is that this is going to add a lot of positive things for the veterans from that standpoint, but it's also going to create a lot of additional pressure on the VA system right now that is seeing plenty of pressure the way it stands right now. So it's still new. It's a lot of guidance and directives are still coming out. One thing, the Vietnam era veterans, one of the big things there was hypertension was added as a presumptive. Again, this bill, we can start filing claims now, but there's no money attached to it from my understanding because Congress has to appropriate that and it'll start 1 January, but we can start filing claims now from that standpoint. It also opens up a lot of additional presumptives, I believe around 20 presumptives for the Gulf War era veterans and post 9/11 for
I'm just gonna ask, could you define presumptive?
Presumptive is a condition that if you were diagnosed with hypertension today and you served boots on ground, brown water or blue water, it would be considered connected to
Service
that.
connected.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's conditions, basically.
Presume that the condition is based on service.
Of where they were located at from that standpoint. We got the file cabinets moved out of the basement. We got them over in the welfare office. We're also establishing a computer scanner. So we will have another office over there to hopefully maybe be able to step out of the office and go over there and work in quiet so you don't have any interruptions so we can process a few more claims. Peg is planning to go over there to start cataloging or categorizing, alphabetizing some of those old records and stuff like that. And I've talked with Ann. We got an idea for the DD 214s that we find. She's going to print off a possible Excel spreadsheet that we can, okay, yep, that one is here, this one here. Nope, we need to register that. So we'll start working through that, but it'll be an ongoing process for quite some time.
Did you ever find out an answer as to how long you need to hold on to those?
So they were going to establish a new pamphlet, but then they decided not to, as far as on the state side from the county. So the one that we currently have dates back to 1985. That's where it is right now. So it's pretty much would cover a lot of that stuff because it's all hard paper and stuff like that. But there is some guidelines. I think it's 5 years if there's been no movement in that and stuff like that. But we're going to try to go through, again, Peg being here for 30 years, some of that stuff she can probably go, okay,
Yeah.
I know that person, or I know that son of that veteran or daughter of the veteran. Hey,
Mhm.
would you like your, these records, to try to get that out?
Yeah.
But we know that, there's certain documents, any original medical documents, any original DD 214s or stuff like that, that are important documents that we'll be scanning stuff in, trying to do everything in accordance with
Mhm.
what the pamphlet says as far as
To
disposition. and stuff.
preserve all that as well, so.
Yep.
Yep.
And some of it, I don't know, some of it's over 50 years old, and that goes into another area to, if the state wants to archive some of that stuff, since it's been saved for so long.
Yeah.
So, that's where we're at with that. I'm still working to figure out, some quantifiable performance measures for our office without creating a lot of additional work. My first measurement is always the feedback from the veterans. And, are they satisfied? Are they happy with their service, the results, stuff from that standpoint? And I know if I'm not doing that, they'll probably just bypass me and come to you from that standpoint. So I will just share a quick statistic. During the month of August, our office increased benefits roughly over $200,000 for veterans. Most of that came in some big retro payments that veterans had filed claims for years ago. Some are due to Agent Orange NEMR law that was put into place several years ago, where they were diagnosed with a condition that was considered a presumptive. We'll use ischemic heart disease as an example. They might have filed for a claim in 2018. They were actually diagnosed with this condition in 2008. According to NEMR law, the VA has to go back to research that claim to say, oh, he actually had that condition or presumptive issue back here in 2009, and it was at this compensable rating, and then they would pay that back to
Oh,
that back.
They'll go retroactive.
Yep. It doesn't mean that's NEMR, and NEMR is strictly for Agent Orange as it stands right now. So when you talk the Honor the Pact Act, that doesn't say anything in there as far as NEMR or conditions of that standpoint like that. So if you had per se hypertension and you had it several years ago, the way that I understand it, the way that I've been told is that they're not going to go back to the date that somebody had hypertension. It's going to be the date of the bill passing.
Oh, okay.
So when you look at that, that's and some of this was generated, one of the larger ones was generated by somebody that you've heard me talk about when I filed for, or I sent out letters for people that had hearing loss, that were low rated in hearing loss. That snapped something in the VA system, which created the VA system to come back and take a look and say, hey, this gentleman was NEMR related issue. They went back, found in his favor, paid that big lump sum from that standpoint. Some of these are also, if you have a veteran that you start working a claim for back in August of last year, that starts the date of that claim. So if they come back and they're rated, say 100%, roughly 100% for a veteran and a spouse, that veteran received roughly $3,500 and some change. That's tax-free money that comes to that veteran. They pick that all the way back to last August. So that's a big chunk of change from that standpoint. So that's what you see. And some of that stuff, it's just going back and looking at the claims that when you're in filing for something, maybe you should file for this. So spending the time to do that, I mean, it pays back. And again, that's a monthly stipend. Every time that we have a veteran that gets compensation, it's a monthly income to them to spend in the community from that standpoint. So, and that's not just veterans, that's also spouses for if their spouse passes of a service-connected disability, they file, that's about $1,400 and change. That's a monthly stipend that comes to that dependent. So just, to me, I didn't really think about that until it's like going, wow, that is a big chunk of change bringing in and a consistent amount. So, the more claims and the quicker that I can process them, the more benefits that will come into the county and
Right.
kind of revert back to that, tax money coming in is going to be spent back around.
Yep.
Recycled through the community from that standpoint.
Well, it's just good that, that they're being recognized for their service and, that they're being compensated for any damage that happened to them or their spouse. And it isn't just a one time, it's,
And some of this stuff, you can go back and go back on DIC claims, like for a spouse. I did one for a veteran that passed away in 1996. We were able to service connected because it was a presumptive of that condition. And now she is receiving a monthly stipend. from that
just keep
standpoint.
all those medical records.
Yep, and yeah. And last I have here is I have the 9th annual Watertown Veterans Appreciation Day is going to be held Thursday, the 15th of September. This is going to be out at the Ernie Edwards Readiness Center out on Highway 20. And it's going to start at 5 o'clock and go till 7:30 in the evening. They're going to have a small program about 6 o'clock.
That's
From
same with 1800.
1800, it's not military guy. but-
1800 to 1930.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
add 12 or subtract 12. 1800, and it's a free picnic meal. Families are encouraged to bring their children or grandchildren. Are there any questions of me?
What date was that again?
15 September at the Armory
Next
from
Thursday.
5 to 7:30.
I just want to say that you're thinking about metrics and stuff. That's something I appreciate you being very careful with it, because from my time in the military, when we were you could spend as much time working on a report as you did doing the job that you were reporting on. So if you can,
And
maybe some of the automation in the office will help you with that, make it a little easier. So
yes, I agree. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I appreciate the commissions. I know of other VSOs that track phone calls, track walk-ins. I would say in the last 2 days, I probably had at least a dozen walk-ins. And I don't track that. I don't report that. And I guess, that's my,
I don't think we need
I
that.
don't think we need that. I mean,
Mhm.
so.
I have a question for you, Todd. Now, if you can't answer this in 5 seconds or 10 seconds, I'll stop and talk to you later on. How does a veteran determine whether you were exposed to Agent Orange? I mean,
So the VA would look at it and say that if you were boots on ground, if your ship, if you were like in the Navy,
Yep.
if your ship was brown water, be it contributors or contributaries or rivers, bays, and then you go to blue water. If your records can put you in that area at that time and you have a condition that's listed by the VA, a medical condition, they're going to concede that.
so they can track it that way.
That's what they're going to base it off of the evidence that they can find either in your personnel records, your medical records,
That's
and your,
interesting.
Yeah.
Because those of us that were on board ship, we weren't boots on ground, so.
but so there's numerous. And the VA has a website also that they'll go and say, okay, you served on the Ranger, USS Ranger, which was an aircraft carrier. And it'll basically show spots with a 12-mile line. Say, okay, they were in there on this date. Okay, so now we would look at your DD 214 to say you were from here to here.
Yep.
And then
Following that range, yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
I've talked to a gentleman that had Agent Orange, and he was in the Air Force and stationed in Germany, working on the planes that sprayed over in Vietnam.
Oh,
Does the board know what Agent Orange actually is? It's paraquat.
it's a herbicide.
Yeah, it's a herbicide. And paraquat is used as a defoliant. And if you notice the top of my head, I have absolutely no hair up there. So here we go, right?
Two quick things and I'll get out of there. So when you think of Agent Orange in this new Honor of the Pact Act,
Yeah.
They actually, if you were in the Navy possibly, and you served in Guam, they take that all the way out to 1980.
1980.
1980. So, I mean, that's a big step. And when you look at the Honor of the Pact Act, it's not just if you served in Iraq, Kuwait, Afghanistan. It also says in there the airspace above it. So it'll be interesting to see how that all weighs out from that standpoint.
I can see a pile of paperwork. Oh,
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Todd.
Nice to meet you.
All right, we'll skip a few items. I guess we'll go down to maybe number 11, or Rick, do you want to do all of yours? We'll wait for the public meeting or the hearing at 9:30, but
Start at 9.
okay, we'll go ahead and do that.
Oh, no, you're talking, she's talking about number 8.
No, we're gonna, but
Number
his is
9
9 and 10 as well.
Okay,
can
okay,
keep
yeah, that's,
going.
I thought you said, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying we need to wait till
I thought you were talking
9:30.
about 9 o'clock, sorry.
All right. We will move on then to item number 9, action to approve joint powers and funding agreement for bridge replacement.
Okay, this is for the bridge down on County Road 20, be 177th Street. So this is a grant from the feds that we received to replace that bridge. And the replacement date would be in 2025. And that's, will be on your sheets that you have from,
Is that the Bemis tar?
yes.
Is that 176th Street?
Oh, excuse me, 176, yep. I was
Is that
thinking
is
of,
that the basic cost after everything of about county 5.6% or something like that?
yeah,
And reading through that, I just had a question. Does the county assume responsibility after that bridge is done, or is that still a state's responsibility?
that's ours.
That's a county road.
That's
So
ours.
Will we have to pay 100% of the upkeep on that
Yes.
afterwards?
Yeah. Yes,
It'll just go into the normal rotation.
yep,
Okay.
yep, it'll just be, right now, we do everything, all the maintenance and whatever needs to be done on it. And the only way that would not is if that became a state road, and I can't see that happening.
Rick, what is it? Where's that at again? 176th and what?
It would be
How many miles from 81?
roughly 2.5 miles,
Okay.
Is that my,
When you're-
right down by the Sioux Rural Water Building.
It's a blue line on your maps down here.
Yeah, I found it now. Thank you.
is this part of the big program?
Yeah, but this is a federal grant that we have.
That's actually separate then.
Yeah,
Big program.
yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
All right,
So I
motion
guess-
by Gable, second by Waterman. Any other comments, questions on this?
Just so this is I think is this the cost here?
Yeah.
share sheet?
Well, no,
So-
this is not, this is the next one we're gonna talk
Okay.
about.
Let me make sure then, so as far as the construction part, what is the cost share on this? Or is it-
That's what Charlie
there it
was
is.
talking about, would be that 5%.
Yeah.
That
Okay, I see.
5.34.
Okay, I see it, yep.
This is a
Right.
different sort of program
No, I
that
get it.
the feds put out and we applied for it and was selected on
This
this
is not part
bridge.
of the big bridge program or this or that.
Federal.
Yeah.
But in the future, the next time, say 20 years when it's gotta be done again. then
No,
who
it's
knows
good.
what
Hopefully it
time.
lasts a lot longer than 20
Yeah,
years.
but you know,
Yeah, I know what you mean, but
Okay.
yeah. The feds every once in a while push out a plan like this. It's kind of like the one we applied for up on County Road 2 that here it is, apply for. And you don't know what's coming and all
Yeah.
once it's there. So this was one that we were able to get, so.
Is
this
that-
is
that a-
actually just about a gift.
Yes, yes,
Is
it
that
is.
a primary farm to market road?
Yes, it is.
So, I mean, hopefully the residents of that area know that that road will be closed
Yes.
for
Yeah.
quite a long time.
Yeah, there's a
This
lot of,
probably won't
I
happen
talked to
till,
a few of the farmers around there before we even load restricted it,
Yeah.
because that bridge has a load restriction on it right now. And that was a major deal to get that replaced.
there's quite a bit of traffic that uses.
Yes, there
Yes.
is.
because this won't happen till what, 23, 24,
Well,
somewhere in there?
23.
The next one that we talk about will be the design for it. And then we'll have to go through the design, and then it'll have to go through the bid. So hopefully in 25, it will be replaced,
Gotcha.
but
Who does the bidding, the state or
the state.
Okay.
It's still a slow process.
Yes, there's nothing fast about a bridge.
Right.
Nothing.
Any other questions on this matter? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Let's move on then to item number 10, action to approve a work order for consult services on County Road or County Highway 20 bridge.
This is the same bridge, but this is for Banner Associates to start the process of designing the bridge to get going on it. So
moved.
Motion by
Second.
Johnson, second by Waterman. Any other comments or questions on that?
So just, Rick, if you could, on the amounts, so that's the overall, the 139,200, that's the overall project, just the consulting part of it. And then the 15,986, that's our portion, or is that
yeah,
from within the grant? Okay.
That'll still be figured in the total cost of the
yes, it will.
cost sharing.
yeah.
Yep, okay.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. It is 9:30, so we will back up then to item number 8, public meeting for the Codington County 5-year highway and transportation plan. I will start with getting a motion and a second on the table.
There is no motion or second. on this. This
We
is
don't
just
have
a-
to do that.
This is just a public meeting.
Okay.
This is just a hearing. We have the adoption of the plan is not. till
Later.
October.
Okay.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah,
then.
This is just a public meeting to
Um,
allow anyone to address it. Yep.
I'll probably have Rick then explain if there's any changes, anything, and then I'll open up to the public hearing. All right,
Okay, the bridge that we just talked about is one of the ones that is on the plan. We have, to start off, there's one on County Road 2. You have a sheet that you should have a list of bridge numbers and things like that.
We have the map.
Yep, but it should be,
you should have gotten a
you
packet.
should have got a packet. There should be a page that looks like this without the color on it.
In here.
Yeah, there should be something.
I
don't think this is a state level guide.
Well, maybe that's what
Inventory.
Yeah.
Christina sent me.
Yeah.
I just figured that was it with you guys. I'm sorry.
Whatever they got is what I got. That's
Oh,
what I
okay,
received.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, to start off, on County Road 2, there's a bridge that goes to design next year. The 14th Avenue Bridge goes to design next year. And then the one that we just did is, we'll start the process for the design next year.
So the blue diamonds are
2020.
2023.
2023, so the ones for design next year.
Yes.
Right, and so these, the years on here are the years of construction.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, and then like the first one, hopefully it'll be replaced in 25. The 14th Avenue Bridge in 25. And the one down on County Road that we just talked about was in 25. So we're gonna have a lot of bridge expense coming out.
We
Kind
got,
of like what Mark talked to us about here when he gave his presentation.
Yeah.
So,
there's another one that looks like up on Cottonwood Street.
yep, that would be.
157.
Yep, that was the first one that I talked about. That was on County Road 2, for Cottonwood Street.
Yeah.
That one is currently load restricted also. Because those 3 right now are on, the ones that I just gave you are all load restricted on county roads. And then there's more bridge repair. It's like on Oak Street, which would be north and east of town, where there's some gravel pits out there. It's on a township road that needs bridge repair. In 2024, the Sioux Conifer Bridge will apply for preliminary engineering grants with design in 26. Oh, there's 2 bridges on County Road 11 that have had hydraulic work done on them. One is north of State Highway 20 and one is south of State Highway 20. And they're about the same year, but they're in about the same shape too, so those will be replaced with design in 24 on that. And then the bridge down 1 mile south, which would be on 177. That's what I was thinking about in Sheridan Township. That one's still on the list for preliminary engineering grant in 27. But those are the major ones right now. And every year that we do the bridge inspection, this list is gonna grow. So we need to keep on top of this and I'll keep applying for grants. And when they come around, especially like the ones that pushed out from the feds, you know, sometimes there's only a limited amount of dollars that can be granted, but.
Right. And
That
there's
big
certain
is a
types.
federal grant,
Say
the
that
big
again.
bridge improvement grant, that's federal.
The one that we just did all the paperwork for, that one was a federal grant.
Okay.
The big grant is state.
Yeah, that's through the state.
They don't come along with that kind of percentages, all that.
No, that's a really good deal. And that's kind of the same way the one up on County Road 2 that we applied for that only had the $6 million. And we weren't accepted on that, so.
Right. And there's certain criteria that you have to meet to be eligible for those federal ones and the big grants as well.
Yes.
It's all very competitive. So,
You know, and that's part of the reason why we do the 5-year plan. And then that's also like the townships having to do the 5-year plan. It's all tied together with,
So many bridges across the state of South Dakota, that pool of money is not very big.
no,
no, and it costs so
And
much.
so and it costs a lot of money to redo bridges.
That $6 million was across the whole state. Right?
yeah. Yeah,
Okay, so before we continue our conversation, I'm going to open up the public hearing for this. And so with that, I'll open up the public hearing for any comments from anyone in the public that would like to speak on the Codington County 5-year highway and transportation plan. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on behalf of that? Have any questions?
It would seem to me that the $6 million that we're talking about, that the townships are gonna get.
Matt, can I have you come up and speak your name, please? Just so we have you on record.
There's people watching, Matt. They want to know who you are.
We're streaming live on YouTube, so
Come on up.
you can come on up and we'll have you sit up here.
It's probably gonna go, I think it's gonna go viral.
And I'm the quiet one.
That's all right.
Okay, talk right into the mic, then they hear you good.
They can probably hear.
There you
It
go.
seems to me the $6 million, you know, originally when we looked at our, in Sheridan Township, I'm speaking for, I'm a supervisor there as Randy is. We looked at all of these culverts or bridges. And all of that money or all those spots were sent to the state. Now the county doesn't even have a record of them in their office, to my understanding, which to an old farm boy seems kind of dubious. But I don't know state government. I don't really want to know it. It seems to me that how are we going to know as a township which one of those are going to be in the 5-year plan, when in fact, we don't even have. In other words, all those bridges went to the state. At least that's what I was told. Is that correct or not correct?
that is not completely correct.
Well, we
See,
don't,
you guys helped put those together, correct?
yes,
So
the
you
county
have-
helped us
Yeah.
with that.
Yes. So I don't remember did you go with them or who went with them?
I did. I
So-
went all around the township
Yep.
and worked together.
Yep.
That's what we do.
Yep, but you have an idea which bridges are, not bridges, but culverts are not in the best of shape.
Correct. You know, but
And you're the one that puts those together on a sheet, which ones you would like to replace this year, next year, down the line, correct?
The state won't determine which ones
No,
will
that's-
be
that's
fixed.
not up to those.
That's
I mean, that's up
at
to
the
you.
local level.
okay.
So the townships determine which ones you feel in order are, in the worst shape to whatever, and you put that on that 5-year plan. And that can change from year to year. You can have things
Yeah,
happen.
because you could have one fall in, kind of like the one you were talking about this morning.
Yeah, we have one like that, and
Yep.
we have difficulty in getting help to replace it, okay? But I guess when I asked the question about which ones were on the list, maybe I misunderstood the whole process.
Yep.
And you guys know the process.
Can I just interject? I think so with the state, with this new legislation that's, to help townships, with the state fund. So, and that amount of money goes to all the townships in the state,
It's like a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, so as far as what we got in Codington County for our townships, it was, I want to say 50 some.
No,
We have like almost 300,000.
Okay, and they count now,
that
okay,
was the first year for. the
yeah, okay, yeah,
report.
so the first, so we have to have some to help with. The whole thing with the inventory, I mean, that's kind of getting that list, so that now we start having a record, and even at the state level, so that's to help the townships in understanding that, townships don't have like a bureaucracy to track all this stuff, and so that all that part of the process is to help us get our, everybody get their hands around the problem. So
I wonder how our forefathers built all these bridges and built all these roads. And we have a tough time keeping them up.
WPA.
Well, the equipment's different nowadays than what there were back in the
I
day.
understand all that, Brenda. You don't
Mhm.
have to explain that to me. And with that being said, it still takes dollars, and 6 million is a drop in the bucket.
It is.
And so we as commissioners representing us,
Mhm.
hopefully will get us some, what did you call those grants? Where does the grants come from?
From the states and the feds. So.
And where does that come from?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
From us.
Well,
Okay.
right now-
So hopefully
We know.
we'll be able
We know.
to get some funds for the township, besides what this little help, everything helps, but this, we need help from the commissioners in our county to help us in the townships, because we don't have the dollar figure. I'm not saying you do, but, okay.
I'm
Thank
sure
you.
I know the
That's
answer to
$6
this
million.
question.
That's $6 million.
I understand.
With all the projects for
understand.
the state and the county means everybody might get $25.
I understand
It's
that.
divided equally.
Charlie, I understand
I
that.
know.
The thing that we'll have to, we're going to be, I guess, blessed with the job of determining a percentage of help too.
Mhm.
And that's going to be something that, I know the townships are gonna say, well, we want 100% of help from you guys, but we're gonna try to divvy out the money, so.
We most certainly would if we could.
Right, well, there's
Yeah.
criteria. I
we-
mean, those dollars were, put in an account here or in the budget for just that purpose. But there is criteria that has to be met in order. And so once everyone, it's just something that's so new that, it's a learning process.
I guess.
And we'll do it together.
Yes, together. I think the thing that I'm here asking for to the commissioners and the rest of the state and public is to work together and to help us in our townships. And I know you guys ladies do all of those things for us as we can. So that's my plea. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. Yep, come on up. Anyone else who would like to speak on behalf of this? And this is kind of specifically to, our
County
road and
roads.
bridge right now is what we are discussing is a 5-year plan.
Scott, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm
so that they'll know
Scott
it's-
Lentz from Rawville Township. I guess I just have a question. How do we integrate the county and the township? So we turned in our things. How does this stuff all get prioritized and who determines what gets, county's got lots of bridges. I mean, them itself could take up all the money. How do you divvy out?
Right there, none of the money that is in that township, county doesn't get anything of that.
No, it's a
Nothing.
separate fund.
That is a separate fund from you guys. So that is just township money
Yep.
for your culverts and bridges.
So you're a different pot of money?
Yes.
Yeah, because my 5-year plan is just our bridges. It
Yeah.
doesn't have anything to do with the bridges some are on the township road, but we maintain those. Only the ones you maintain is what that money comes out of, that $300,000 that's in the account.
So then that goes, who actually, in the end, divvies that up? And who who
Okay,
determines?
Yeah.
These guys.
Okay, so I think you're talking about the RAFE funding, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not what we're discussing today. That's not what the public hearing is. Those are questions that, you know, get a hold of one of us or Rick or whatever, and we can discuss that. But since the public hearing is specifically kind of to the bridges that are in our county highway five-year plan.
It's the
So,
county's five-year
Yeah.
plan that we're,
Yeah.
the public hearing is for, and
Yeah.
and
So-
not the RAFE money.
no,
That's-
no. So if it was a bridge that you're concerned about that's on our five-year plan, that's kind of what we're looking for input on. But the RAFE funding is a total separate subject.
So the one bridge you mentioned, is it the one on 81 or County Road 11? Is it the one leaving right out of town, or
No.
is it the one farther?
No, one of them is a mile north of State Highway 20.
On your map.
And the other one
If you
is,
look at these two right here. They're in the yellow.
right here. It'd be, I think, 2.5 miles south of State Highway 20 is where those two are.
So this is specific to just county. It has nothing to do with RAFE funding. This is just our own county roads and that we maintain bridges within.
But like Brenda said, if you have any questions, you can reach out to Rick about that funding or any of us.
Or
and
any
we're
of us.
happy to
These guys will be
have that
deciding
conversation.
the percentage of the money which will go to each
And-
project for you guys.
Yeah, and some of that's driven by, in statute, by the criteria that we have to apply, and then some of the rules about, the opt-outs and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think
So-
your township association has sent you information and emails and they're a good resource for you as well. Because there are certain things that you have to have in place before you can even apply. So anyway, that's for another day, I guess. If you have anything else specific to just the five-year plan that you would have questions or concerns about, or if there's anything that you know, on that related to that.
I'm good.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Anyone else have anything in relation to the Codington County five-year plan? Okay, not seeing any, so I'm going to close the public hearing. Do any of the other commissioners have any other questions for Rick on the five-year plan and any of the bridges that are listed?
Some of these, this is a 5-year plan, but what's on your plan 2027, something happens, it can get moved up.
Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
get changed around.
You know, okay, I'll just use the bridge like on 14th Avenue. It could fall in, you don't know. Anything could happen, so things could get moved, so.
Yeah.
I just use that as an example, so things could get moved and.
Somebody falls through it this afternoon, it gets to the top
Yeah,
of the list.
things will happen. So,
Okay, so on October 4th is when we will officially take action to approve this five-year plan at our commission meeting. And there will not be another public hearing. It's just action to approve the five-year plan. So we don't need anything else today other than discussion.
So the 20th.
October 4th.
October, I'm sorry.
Yep.
All right. I close the
You
public
will adopt
hearing.
a resolution that day. Yep, and that's all good for that day.
Yep, so I close the public hearing. Commissioners are good. We ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay, let's move on then to.
Thank you.
Item number 11, action to approve the ARPA cash transfers for August payroll expense.
The amount that will,
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
the amount that will be transferred for payroll in August will be transferred back to the budgets and it will be charged against the ARPA cash is $515,790.25. Of that amount, $7,592.82 is for the crime victim fund. The highway fund is in the amount of $95,558.07. And then the general fund, $495,427.08.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. Any comments or questions? Not hearing any. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 12, discussion possible action on personnel manual changes / part-time employee benefits. I'll have Natalie come up and explain what changes that is going to be.
Good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
As happens once in a while, we have some updates that we need to make to our personnel manual based on discussions and things that come up. And so the first change that I have for you, it looks like Lee has it up on the screen, is regarding our part-time employees. So we have two categories basically of part-time employees. So we have the one that's just been considered part-time employee, and we are proposing that we add the word occasional in front of that, as Lee has up there. And those are the individuals that work less than 20 hours for the county. And then the other classification that we have is our regular part-time employees. And those are employees that work between 20 and 40 hours. And if they're 40 hours, obviously and above, then they're full-time. So this change would be to remove some of the benefits that are listed for that category of individual, which has been the prorating of hours for vacation, sick, holiday, and then just clarify that they have the option to participate in supplemental retirement if they qualify for that, which is a state at 20 hours for a period of 6 months or longer. And then to clarify on the health insurance, if they meet the 30 hours per week requirement, that's Affordable Care Act requirement. And so we had talked about that. We've reviewed that. I actually thought we had updated the language on that before, but that's another update then that would be needed to clarify what we've already discussed and just to get it into the manual, which is on page 45.
I only have that page in there.
Oh, sorry.
I think.
Section 4.3.
Oh, I did not send them the whole.
Oh, sorry.
I just sent them the changes.
I can go dig it
On
up.
that section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I have it on the computer.
Okay. Yeah, as I say, I would have emailed
Yeah.
it to you last week,
So is this, we're
probably.
talking about one motion for all this? stuff?
Yes, one
Okay.
motion to adopt all these changes.
That makes sense.
Just to clarify, I guess, while he's looking for that, on the change on the regular part-time employee benefit, there are no current employees that this would impact. We're not removing any benefits from anybody, changing anything like that. Clarifying it for going forward more so.
Just to interject, but it makes sure we're complying with federal
Yeah.
rules and regulations on the
Yes,
the Affordable Care Act, so,
On the
right,
health insurance part of it.
Yeah.
right.
okay.
Are you having any luck finding it?
I
What are you
think-
looking
okay.
for?
The language, the email that I had sent last
You
week
said
with the
August
policy manual.
31st is the
So you
date of
can
the
just pull it
email.
up.
I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right one here.
It was a reply to the subject that said something about part-time and asked Cindy to add it to the agenda.
Sorry.
Or which one of that?
Yeah, which one of the thousands
I
of
got-
emails that Natalie sent?
I think it wasn't further up
I see, I
there.
have the one on the, I have one from you on the
This one, I think.
August 31st.
Yes, on the attachment.
What's the
here.
date of the email?
I think it's.
I say I have it here. I just
Okay.
didn't know if you wanted to pull it up.
I think it's September
I can
1st.
forward it over to Lee.
Find it.
Not yet, but I remember it came on Thursday just before the.
Yes.
I'll
agenda got set,
forward it
so-
to you.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the
exactly.
whole policy. You want the whole thing?
Yep, I wanted
Okay.
to
I
pull
think
up
I
that
think I found the right.
page
email.
45 of that, I guess.
Okay,
Give me a second.
Let me see if
There
I
it is.
send it
I got it.
found it.
Okay, page 45.
Yep.
We don't have page numbers on this necessarily, but what section is it?
It's under section 8,
Okay.
8.0.1.
Getting there.
Okay.
Give me a second. I'll try not to overshoot. I only have 28 pages. Oh, no. Sorry. No,
It takes a
no.
while to load for some reason, sometimes when you pull it up, yeah.
Okay, here we go. 45.
Health insurance, dental insurance, is that the one you're talking
Right,
about?
yep, that last paragraph.
Oh, is that the right?
Yes, you got it. Okay, yeah, so then we just need to confirm how we are complying with the Affordable Care Act. We started doing this, just didn't get the language, I guess, into the policy. So we talked about this in January, started adding it, under the Affordable Care Act, we are required to set up a look back period when we go back and check to see how many hours employees had on average over the year. And so we decided we would set that time period, that look back period is 12 months. So in January, February-ish of each year, we'll go back and audit employees. And if they average 30 or more, then the Affordable Care Act tells us we have to provide health insurance, even though we consider a full-time employee 40 hours, the federal government tells us otherwise. So just to make sure we're staying compliant with that. And so that's the language that just says how we're doing that, what'll happen.
And that's
kind of
for the
thing.
next year. It doesn't go back. It's, I mean, once they meet
Yes.
that, then it's for the near year
For
going
the
forward.
Yep, so then that following year, and then we'd still, it doesn't mean coverage forever. You still have to
Still.
look every year and see then how they end up on that,
So we can go on and off.
right?
So I'll make a motion to approve these.
The other change, sorry, one more, Lee.
Oh, sorry.
Next page on the supplemental retirement section, we just clarified that language that if a part-time employee that meets the 20 hours that the state requires us to do to hit South Dakota retirement qualifies, then if they wanted to elect our supplemental retirement, then they can. So
Yeah.
I think that's it now.
No.
Now you can make a motion.
I'll second his
Okay, we
motion.
have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions about these changes? It doesn't affect anyone now. It's just clarifying and makes us compliant with state and federal regulations.
Correct. Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you, commissioners.
Very good. Thank you, Natalie. Okay, we'll move on then to item number 13, action to approve claims for payment.
The only claims we have are the August payroll claims in the amount of $628,383.32.
I'll make a motion to
Motion by
I'll
Gates,
second.
second by Johnson. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item number 14, action to approve automatic budget supplements.
None today,
Item number 15, action to approve personnel changes.
none.
Okay. Item number 16, action to approve travel requests.
Travel requests I have are for the Emergency Management Director and Deputy Director to attend the South Dakota Emergency Management Association Conference.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Van Duzen, second by Waterman. Comments, questions on that? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, that motion carries. All right, public notices, possible quorum of commissioners to be in attendance. Our SDACO and SDACC convention coming up next week, the 12th and 13th, which also, I don't know if we had it on here, but we will not be having a commissioner meeting to next week due to us being at that conference. So we will not be meeting on the 13th and we will resume again on the 20th. Are there any other items that anyone has that there could be a quorum? Obviously, he mentioned the 15th, that Veterans Appreciation at the
Yeah.
Ernie Edwards,
Edwards.
that there could be a quorum of commissioners.
From chair on Saturday, we have the fire department's
Yes.
fire, I don't know what you call it.
Fire Ops
Fire
101.
Ops 101
Troy and I
program. You and I will be at.
Yeah, we'll be in attendance at that. Let's see.
Okay, we moved next from the 13th to the 15th, right?
No,
No,
we will
just
not
no
have a
meeting.
meeting
Just no
next week.
meeting next
We will
week.
go on the 20th then,
Okay, we're not even gonna have a meeting next week. at
No.
all. Okay,
not next week.
good.
We do this every year, basically during our conference. We don't hold one during that week. Let's see, is there anything else? I'm trying to look, so we got a few weeks here.
Oh, let's see.
I don't really see.
On the
anything.
19th, we have a planning. Oh, let's see.
State,
On the, well, let's get down quite a ways on the 29th. We don't want to go that far. do we?
no, because we'll have meetings before that. So basically, it's up till the 20th. So I don't see anything. Anyone else
On
have
the
anything?
19th is the planning.
The,
board. That's
Yeah.
already written into that.
Yep.
Is the
That's-
Vintage Car Show this weekend?
Yes, I guess that is downtown. I did hear that on the radio as well. So maybe there could be some of us moseying around,
Is it
That's-
government affairs?
Just a
Yeah.
public event.
It's government affairs next week.
right? All right, we good? Okay, is there any old business? How about any new business? Anything for the open? I do know we need an executive session on contract negotiations. So that is number 2. So
Let's go back to open. I did attend the South Dakota Retirement quarterly meeting last Thursday, and a week from today, and I was, if you've been watching the markets, they just been tanking and tanking and tanking, but due to some good planning by our investment council, we still are in pretty darn good shape. I felt a lot better after I'd been at the meeting, and the reason that it was is just that the investment council, our retirement system had a lot of cash. And that didn't get hit as hard. Probably investment in real estate was another one that didn't get hit as hard. So, long term, if things don't really go bad, we're gonna see.
Yeah,
We're still solvent, so everything looks good.
Good.
Make you rest a little bit easier.
The Dow was up 400 points yesterday. So that's good.
Yeah.
all right, we're ready to go into executive session. I need a motion in a second.
So
Motion by Johnson, second by Van Duzen. Gable, all right, all in favor, say aye.
I.
Opposed, that motion carries.